Hi everyone, this is Nikki Rowland, and today I have a layout to share for Simple Stories using the Trail Mix collection. Trail Mix is perfect for outdoor photos and camping. Now we are not campers, so this was a little bit of a challenge for me to find photos. However, I've managed it, no problem. I really love the two layouts that I've made using this collection so far, and I just wish I had more photos because it's such an adorable collection. I love it. I have had to really dig deep into my photo stash, and I had to find some camping photos for a family who doesn't do camping. So I managed to find blanket fort photos. Now we have a blanket fort making kit, and we do have some very epic structures in our house sometimes, so I happen to have some photos of the last time that they did this. I don't let it out of the loft very often, but yeah, so this is it was actually a brilliant little fort that they built using the kit, and I've got photos of the fort from the outside and of them inside it as well. So I decided to make a camping kind of scene, if you like, on my layout, and I had to look for inspiration online as to what the front of a tent looked like and how I could draw it and it translate onto my page, and this is what I came up with. So I drew it out first a few times onto some scrap paper, and then I went ahead and I drew it onto my background paper, and I chose to go for that fabulous checked print. I do love a check print, and it's like yellow and pink. I just adore it. It's so nice. And our blankets that we used in the blanket fort are pink, so that kind of worked. And the bedroom that they were in is yellow. So again, that paper was kind of perfect. So you can see I just cut a triangle at the top. Now I freehand drew this. I used a ruler to do the peak at the top, but the rest of it I freehand drew, and then I have managed to create this kind of little scene with the tent as the front, and my layout, my photos will go inside the tent. So there we go. It's looking okay now. I'm happy with how that's turned out. You know, when I was doing my drawings, my little rough drawings on scrap paper, I was like, oh, I'm not sure this is going to look right. I'm not sure I can pull this off. But actually, it's turned out pretty cool. I'm really happy with it. So persevere. Okay, so I have this fabulous yellow paper that is left over from my previous layout, and I wondered if I had enough of it left to create an outline for the canopy of my tent, and the answer was absolutely yes, I did. So I'm just going around with a pencil and tracing around that, and I'm going to cut that out freehand and use that as another layer behind my tent. I just really like the yellow. It's kind of like a goldy yellow. It's really lovely, and I just thought it would give would be a perfect border to really make that pink and yellow check pop off the page. So I'm not it's not going along the floor, it's not going along the pole for the middle, it's only going along the canopy. There we go, it looks lovely, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm really happy that that worked out, because that colour was perfect to make that tent kind of pop out, stand out a bit better. So just distressing the edges, of course, and I'm going to distress I've already distressed the edges of the pink part, I think, and then I'm going to layer those together. But before I do that, I'm going to go and do some sewing on my sewing machine, and I just wanted to sew the edges of the canopy. I've just used white thread and used my straight stitch on my sewing machine. It doesn't actually show up as well as I thought it would. I was hoping to replicate kind of stitching that you have on tents, but actually the patterns are quite busy, and yeah, the stitching doesn't show as well as I thought it would. So I wish I'd used a darker thread, or alternatively hand sewn with a thicker thread. That would have worked too, but I didn't have time for that. So So in fact, I started sewing something a few weeks ago, and it's just sat here not sewn. I'm really not very good at that. Anyway, I was thinking that my layout looked a little bit too white. So now that my tent is assembled and it's got its layers in place, I just picked up those triangular pieces that were off-cut from the top of the tent and turned them over, and they had this fabulous greeny turquoisey print with the butterflies and moths all over it. And I decided that was that actually looked really quite good in the background. I think it looks better in person than it does on my screen with me looking at it right now. You might think that's a little bit questionable, that decision, but actually in person it looks really nice. The green is a slightly different tone in person than it appears on screen. Anyway, that looks nice, just gives it a good frame. It makes it look like it's maybe against the darker sky, yeah, I think it looks really nice. I'm happy with that. So now I need to get on and build the rest of my layout and actually put some photos on. So here is the first of my photos. That's the actual blanket fort itself, with the rest of the bedroom on show. And then the second photo that's not in the frame is of the two boys inside the tent. So pretty cool. I'm really happy with how that's looking. The first photo fitted beautifully inside that gold frame. And I love the flowers. So I've just put those together, offset them slightly, and then of course I have paired it with the word camp. I really wanted to use happy campers, but it was happy camper, not happy campers plural, so it just didn't quite work because there's two of them in the photo, so unfortunately it wouldn't work. But I went for camp instead because it certainly is a camp and a half. It takes weeks to clear up. I tell you, that's why I dread it every time it comes out of the loft. I think, oh no, that's gonna make a big mess. But they always love doing it, and they always have great fun, and they stay inside these tents that they make for ages, which is, wonderful. So good for them. Okay, so I also mounted my other photo onto a journaling card. That is from the 3x4 journaling cards sheet from the paper collection, and I just felt that it needed a little something as well to make it stand out against the gold frame that was behind it too. So I've just added the journaling card behind that, just dressed the edges, of course. Both photos stuck in place. I love the flowers on the frame. I would like to extend that if possible, so there's no floral bits in this collection because we have the patches bits instead, which are awesome, but I do miss the florals. I am just going to go looking, because there will be some. I just have to go and find them. They'll be in the either on the stickers or in the bits and pieces. Loved this little camp sign sticker, little wooden hanging sign, so I've popped that at the very top of my tent, that's a sticker from the sticker sheet, so I'm going to raise that on foam pads. At the bottom there I've added a tent sticker and a tree sticker. I appreciate that these photos are taken inside, but I figured that's okay. I'm not going to go literal. It's about camping, right? It doesn't matter that we're camping inside. Okay, so my big camp title I've stuck down, but it goes over the canopy on the right hand side, and that's a different level to the white background behind it. So I needed to raise the rest of the CAM. I needed to raise those on foam pads for it all to be on the correct level. So I've just done that. I've added a camera, adding another tree over on the right hand side, and now I'm extending those florals for the floral frame, so just getting that stuck in there. That looks fab. I'm happy to extend those flowers from the frame. I'm just happy with how that looks. So we have this big white space above the word camp as well that I'm not planning to put anything in, but I can encroach on it a little bit. The word camp on a flag just going above the photos there. I've also got a little tree stump or tree cutting down bottom left. Over on the right I've got the word camp, adding the tree. I've got the little 3 arrows pointing towards my photos. They're from the sticker sheet, but I'm raising those on foam pads. That's a little branch there that I'm adding as well. I think that's a piece of ephemera from the bits and pieces pack, and adding a little camp stove or camp light over on the right too, and a bird to that camp sign, which I thought was really, really cute. I just loved the fact that he could perch on that sign. He was awesome. So yeah, it's all kind of coming together. I'm really happy with how it's looking. When I was thinking about what to do for this layout, I wasn't thinking that I would make a tent. I was thinking that I would maybe fold up a piece of paper to make it look as though it was the opening to a tent, and then it somehow morphed into creating this scene on the page, and I'm so pleased it did. I love it when inspiration sparks and you have a small idea and then you end up running with it and going in a different direction to what you had initially planned. So I'm pleased that happened. I'm pretty happy with how it's all looking. I'm nearly done. I just want to put in some last details, so I'm pulling off some of the decorative brads from the decorative brad set. I've got some bigger ones and some smaller ones. I love the different texture and dimension that these add. It's just to say, it looks different to the flat stickers and paper ephemera. They're shiny and are just a different texture entirely. So loving including those, and I'm now just going to come in with a few splatters of white paint. I'm not going to go mad. I just want a few over some of my clusters, and I need some new paintbrushes because all of mine are a bit ruined, so my splatters are not splattering too well. I should have to order some after I've done this, yeah, that's looking good now. I'm happy with that. I do want to handwrite in some journaling, and I've realised that I should have done that before I splattered. Silly me. I should have a tick list or an alarm or something. Stop! Don't use the paint yet. I should put a label on my paint. Do not use me until I've done journaling. That's a good idea. I might do that. So anyway, I managed to get that handwritten in. Right. So there we go. That is that layout all finished. I hope you enjoyed seeing it come together. I enjoyed making it. I love this collection. It's just adorable. I just wish I had more photos. Okay, so thank you so very much for joining me today. That was Nikki Rowland for Simple Stories using Trail Mix.